2020 has been a very hard year for a lot of people, be it for those people who have lost relatives, to those people who have lost jobs, or even for those parents who have children running around the house and they've got nowhere else to go. Now, there are ways of you having stress and anxiety. They come in all ways and shapes and forms, and it truthfully affects every human being, but just some people are able to cope with it a little bit better than others. There's no doubt about it. Now, there's ways for you to reduce stress and anxiety, for you doing, let's say, yoga and meditation, for you going out on a walk, or even for you using smart wearables such as the Sensate in order to basically affect your vagus nerve. Now, I did a video many months ago on the Sensate. I did an overview and unboxing, and I went into a little bit more information as to what the Sensate actually is. I've actually been using it since then, and so has been my fiance, and we found it to be pretty useful. Now, this video has been sponsored by Sensate, but for those people who might be aware of what I do on YouTube and indeed elsewhere, they'll know I'm a pretty honest guy. And to say the least, when Sensate did approach me about doing another sponsored video, which is this one, I was definitely open arms because I believe in their product, and therefore I feel that more people could benefit from it by watching videos or indeed doing their research. Of course, you don't have to take my word for it. I would definitely suggest you doing your own research and of course looking at what the Sensate is. Now, in this video, I'm going to be describing a little bit more and actually going in an interview with the inventor, Stefan. Now, before we do that, I do find it fascinating as to what the Sensate actually does. It essentially sends low-end frequencies throughout your body in order to reduce stress and anxiety by affecting your vagus nerve. And this is kind of the same effect that you might have if you were to put a fully fledged subwoofer, yes, an audio subwoofer, on your chest and have it play back certain frequencies. In fact, this is not actually something that's been new or kind of revolutionary. It is new in the way the fact that there's a small little wearable that can go around your chest and sit around it and for you to play back certain frequencies and tones at the right time. However, vibroacoustic therapies has actually been around for decades, and it's safe to say that it has affected people in a variety of different ways, from those people in the military suffering from PTSD to those people who are new to stress and anxiety due to things that's happened in their lives. For example, having the kids run around while you're at the home and you just want to get away for a little while, but you can't because of course you have to take care of those little ones. Now, to give you a bit more of an indication as to how the things work and also a little bit more of a background as to Sensate and vibroacoustic technology and therapy, I've had an interview with Stefan Chimlik. He's the inventor, as I mentioned before, and he goes into a lot more detail. Here's the interview. So Stefan, tell us a little bit more about the autonomic nervous system.
Chris, hi. The autonomic nervous system, or ANS, as it's usually abbreviated to, is one of the central parts of the nervous system. Yeah, not the brain. It's the bit beneath the brain that also travels parallel to the spine. Made up of two major components, the sympathetic and the parasympathetic components, with the vagus nerve being the largest branch of this, and the vagus nerve itself really being the physical embodiment of what we call the gut-brain connection, the gut-brain superhighway. One of the images that's often used is of like an accelerator and a brake. And this does kind of work for kind of crude overall purposes. So the sympathetic nervous system is the accelerator, if you like. You know, you activate the sympathetic nervous system, and you're engaging the flight, fight, freeze response. Yeah, the emergency, escape from danger response. And if you engage the parasympathetic nervous system, it's like applying the brake to that response. So that's the rest and digest. Yeah, so the kind of upregulation and the downregulation. But I think understanding of what the autonomic nervous system is has kind of broadened quite a lot in the last few years, and particularly understanding and appreciation of the incredibly wide range of applications that the vagus nerve applies to. So generally speaking, this is about all the autonomic functions that you don't want to have to think about. It would be impossible, obviously, to think about every heartbeat, to think about digestion, breathing, and all the other kind of automatic functions that the autonomic nervous system controls. So there's this astonishing complex system of regulation, self-regulation that's going on in your body the whole time. And our research shows that it's vagal tone, the responsivity of the vagus nerve, that is the master controller, if you like, the central processing unit of this ability to upregulate and downregulate according to need. One of the things I've really realized over the last few years is that what got us here isn't going to get us there. So the fantastically attenuated flight, fight, freeze response, the ability to notice and respond to threat and therefore account for it and enable survival has allowed human beings to become the dominant race and species on the planet. However, this now doesn't serve us anymore. In an age where technology and societal change has fast outstripped evolution, our ability to notice threat and respond to it by activating the flight, fight, freeze response is now actively a disadvantage. It stops us from feeling the kind of skills that will be required to move forward into the 21st century properly, to overcome all the issues we've seen happening with the pandemic. And what we need are the skills of empathy, of cooperation, of gratitude. And this is not something which is engendered by an emergency, short-term thinking-based response.
And so what does your product, Sensate, actually try and do in that respect? So obviously you place it on your chest, and that's what you're ultimately trying to achieve, to try and reduce the anxiety, to know that there is still anxiety there, but just to reduce it a little bit, to make it a bit more bearable for everyone else. Is that correct?
Yeah. So I'm interested in impact now. I've been practicing in Harley Street in London for 30 years, and that has the potential to impact on a few thousand people, which is wonderful. But there are hundreds of millions of people who are overwhelmed, and I want to take the knowledge that I've accumulated to help the hundreds of millions of people that need it. A lot of the traditional ways in which we would have made ourselves feel better have been removed, or are harder and harder to do. Something I've noticed in clinic over the last 30 years is that normal average people find it increasingly difficult to meditate, even with an app. 70 times I've heard someone say to me, oh, I've tried to meditate, or I've tried to relax and I can't. If I try to follow the apps, I'm just sort of sitting there getting anxious. Actually, often these things can make people more anxious. So it became kind of clear to me that I needed to develop a method that anyone could use at home, on the go, that would enable them to increase their ability to self-regulate in the moment and therefore improve stress resiliency and vagal tone. And this really is what Sensate is designed to do. It's designed to enable people, which is most of us, who find it difficult to relax and switch off and who feel overwhelmed. It's a technological platform solution which enables those people to downgrade the stress response. Yeah, and because it's going in at a non-verbal, passive level, it's not something you have to fight. You don't have to sit there struggling, asking yourself, am I relaxed? Am I meditating? Am I breathing properly? If you just simply follow the instructions that come with it, for the vast majority of people, it produces a recordable and measurable change to the biometric markers associated with the relaxation response and with an uptick in heart rate variability and vagal tone. It's at a level which is unlike anything I've observed in 30 years in clinical practice as gatekeeper of New Medicine Group, where I was, really triaging everyone coming in and seeing what would work for them. So I genuinely don't know of a solution which is as consistently effective for most people than what we're doing, which is why I'm completely dedicated to this. Having the early trials having shown real promise, and now that we're scaling, that promise appearing to be even stronger than we thought it was. It's just a wonderful opportunity, which I'm massively grateful for, to be able to provide this to people that need it.
Excellent. Well, that's great. Thank you so much for your time, Stefan.
You're so welcome.
Now, hopefully that interview gave you a little bit more of an insight, and it made you understand the product a little bit more and where it's come from. If you want some more information, do check out in the links in the description below. And of course, do your own research, do your own homework, as with any product in the world. But it's safe to say I've been very impressed with what Sensate have been able to deliver. And in this respect, I think that their wearable is a really cool device for those people who suffer from stress and anxiety, in order to reduce it, or in some case, potentially even cure it, depending on how it affects you or what other techniques you use. So I'd be intrigued to hear your thoughts in the comment section below. What techniques do you use? Do you use some wearables, or do you use more traditional ways of, let's say, just going out in the park, for example, for a little stroll? I'll be intrigued to hear your thoughts, let me know, and of course if you like this video, give it a like, subscribe if you want to see more from the channel, and favourite and share if you feel this video will help someone. So there we go, I've been Totally Dubbed, take care, and bye bye.